The city moved fast, but he always moved faster. Daniel Hart, billionaire CEO, a man whose life was made of polished marble offices and private jets, rarely slowed down for anything. Even now, as his car stopped outside a street food stall he loved since childhood, he didn't notice the small figure sitting near the corner until she stepped forward. The rain had just stopped, leaving the pavement shining like glass. Neon lights reflected in puddles, turning the street into a mosaic of colors. Daniel's driver held out an umbrella, but Daniel waved him off. He wanted this moment, the warmth of fresh food, the nostalgia of home, alone. He lifted the steaming plate, ready to take a bite. That's when he heard it. A small voice, trembling yet urgent. "Sir! Don't eat that!" Daniel turned sharply. A girl, thin, maybe 10 years old, wrapped in a torn sweater, stood barefoot near him. Her hair was soaked, her face pale. But her eyes, they were terrified. He frowned. "Why? What's wrong?" She clutched the strap of her worn-out cloth bag. "Please, just don't." He almost ignored her. Billionaires don't take advice from children in the streets. But something in her voice, so desperate, so real, made him pause. The food vendor snapped, annoyed. "Hey! Don't scare customers. Go away." But she didn't move. She pointed at Daniel's plate with shaking hands. "I'm not lying. Please don't eat it." Her lips trembled like she was holding back tears. For a moment, Daniel felt a strange pull, like the universe itself was whispering that this little girl's words mattered. If you're watching this and believe that courage can come from the smallest voices, take a second to like, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. These stories help remind us of the goodness hidden in unexpected places. Daniel crouched slightly, softening his tone. "What did you see?" The girl gulped. I work at the back of the stall sometimes. To earn a little money. I saw him," she pointed at the vendor, "use rotten chicken today. The smell was bad. I saw flies on it. I told him, but," her voice cracked. "He slapped me and told me to shut up." A weak drizzle began again, dotting her eyelashes. Daniel looked closer at her. Her wrist had a faint bruise. A fresh one. Anger rose in him, sharp, protective. He turned to the vendor. "Is that true?" The man scoffed. "She's lying. Beggars lie for attention." Daniel was about to respond when the girl whispered something so soft he barely heard it. "I don't want anyone to get sick. I already saw my mama die from bad food." He froze. For him, the world blurred for a moment. Why did her pain hit him so deeply? Maybe because she spoke with the honesty nobody in his polished, perfect world ever used. He gently set the plate down. "Thank you for warning me." The vendor grumbled and retreated inside the stall. Daniel focused on the girl again. She stood shivering, unsure whether she'd get punished for speaking up. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lena," she whispered. "Do you have a home, Lena?" She hesitated. "Sometimes. Sometimes no." His heart tightened. A memory flooded him, small, afraid, clutching his mother's hand as they struggled to afford even one meal some days. He remembered the smell of stale bread, the embarrassment, the hunger. He remembered promising himself he'd never let another child feel like that if he ever made it out. "Are you hungry?" he asked softly. She nodded but didn't ask for anything. Not even once. He invited her to sit with him inside his car, and not to spoil her, but to keep her warm. The driver looked surprised, but Daniel shot him a glance that said, "This child is important." Inside, Lena sat on the edge of the seat, careful not to dirty anything. Rain tapped softly on the roof. "Relax," Daniel said with a gentle smile. "You're safe." A tear slipped down her cheek. "No one ever says that to me." That line stayed in him like a wound. He ordered fresh food from a different restaurant and had it delivered to the car. When the meal arrived, he watched Lena eat slowly, almost reverently, like she was afraid it might be taken away. "Do you go to school?" he asked. She shook her head. "I want to, one day. Mama used to say learning makes you strong." Another memory flashed through him, his mother repeating the exact same words. Life was strange. It stitched strangers together through invisible threads. "Lena," he said softly, "would you like to be strong again?" She nodded, eyes shining. He made a decision in that moment, one so instinctive it felt like fate. "You warned me today. You protected me. So I want to protect you too." Her spoon froze midair. "Why?" "Because brave children deserve better lives." He took out his phone and made a few quick calls. Within minutes, his foundation team was connected. Arrangements were set, health checkups, shelter, school admission, a caretaker. Everything. But Lena didn't know any of that yet. She stayed quiet, waiting, unsure whether this kindness was real. He leaned closer. "Lena, I want you to live like a child again. Not like someone fighting the world alone." Her eyes filled with tears, this time from hope. The vendor outside suddenly yelled at them, angry about losing business. Daniel rolled down the window just enough to say four calm words. "She saved my life." And then he asked for the stall to be inspected. Not out of vengeance, but to protect others. Back in the car, Lena whispered, "Sir, why did you listen to me? Most people don't." Daniel smiled gently, a softness in his eyes rarely seen by anyone. "Because sometimes the smallest voices tell the biggest truths." She reached out with trembling hands and held his fingers. "Thank you for seeing me." Her words struck deeper than she could ever know. As the car drove off through the glowing, rain-washed city, Daniel looked at the viewers through the story of his life and wondered aloud in his heart, how many miracles begin with someone brave enough to speak? And how many of us actually listen? If this moment touched you, take a second to share this story, to comment something kind, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. You never know, your voice might be the one someone needs today. In the weeks that followed, Lena's world transformed. Clean clothes. A warm bed. Laughter. School books. A chance to dream. And every evening, she'd wait for Daniel's car to arrive, not because she needed him anymore, but because she wanted to show him her drawings, her homework, her victories. One afternoon, as she proudly showed him her first school certificate, she said something that brought tears to his eyes. "You didn't just save me. You believed me." He squeezed her little hand. "And I always will. Because sometimes, all it takes to change a life is listening."